The Indians had been very good actors. We had asked them to stop buying sanctioned Russian oil this fall. They did. They were going to substitute it with U.S. oil, but to ease the temporary gap of oil around the world, we have given them permission to accept the Russian oil. We may unsanction other Russian oil. You know, the other thing Treasury can do here, Larry, is there are hundreds of millions of sanctioned barrels of sanctioned crude on the water, and in essence, by unsanctioning them, Treasury can create supply. And you know, we are looking at that. We're going to keep a cadence of announcing measures to bring relief to the market during this conflict. And Larry,
a political storm has erupted in India after the United States said it had given permission to New Delhi to buy Russian oil for a limited period. The remark has triggered sharp reactions from the opposition, with the Congress accusing the government of diplomatic weakness and questioning the silence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. At the center of the controversy is a statement by US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Speaking in an interview to Fox Business, Bessent said Washington had allowed India to purchase Russian oil that is already on ships at sea.
The Indians had been very good actors. We had asked them to stop buying sanctioned Russian oil this fall. They did. They were going to substitute it with U.S. oil, but to ease the temporary gap of oil around the world, we have given them permission to accept the Russian oil. We may unsanction other Russian oil. You know, the other thing Treasury can do here, Larry, is there are hundreds of millions of sanctioned barrels of sanctioned crude on the water, and in essence, by unsanctioning them, Treasury can create supply. And you know, we are looking at that. We're going to keep a cadence of announcing measures to bring relief to the market during this conflict. And
those words have now triggered a fierce political reaction in New Delhi. The Congress party launched a scathing attack on the government, saying a country of 1.4 billion people should never appear to be waiting for permission from another nation to secure its energy needs. In a strongly worded post on social media, the party said the statement from Washington was nothing short of humiliation. Congress leaders argued that India fought a long struggle for independence so that no foreign power could dictate terms to the country. Yet today, they said the United States is openly speaking about granting India permission. The opposition also questioned the silence of the Prime Minister. According to the Congress, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has not responded to the remark, and that silence, they say, is deafening. The party said Indians are not actors performing in someone else's script. They demanded that the government explain how such a statement from Washington could emerge without a clear response from New Delhi.
Mr. Modi has sacrificed that autonomy to the American government. Now, as the American government has said, they will allow or they will permit, they will bar India from purchasing her energy in the form of oil from certain selected countries. It is absolutely unfortunate. And at what cost have we sacrificed this autonomy, this right to choose our oil suppliers? Prime Minister Modi should answer. But the answer, I'm assuming, lies in what Rahul Gandhi ji had said in various meetings and including in Parliament, that the American government has got some leverage over Prime Minister Modi. And it is unfortunate that Prime Minister Modi, instead of protecting India's energy security, instead of protecting India's strategic autonomy, Prime Minister Modi has prioritized protecting himself. He has put himself and his security and his needs over India's energy security. I think this is disgraceful, and what Rahul ji had said has come to light, but the details, why does the American government have such disproportionate influence and leverage over Prime Minister Modi? Is it about ongoing investigations in the US Judicial Department? Those things should be discussed and debated within Parliament. But every time Rahul ji wants to raise these issues, he is forbidden from raising these issues in Parliament, and as a result, the people of India do not get the chance to hold this government and this Prime Minister accountable. Where is your energy sovereignty if a foreign country decides who you will buy oil from? Sovereignty means you have the right to make your own decision. So, Prime Minister Modi, under pressure from the American government, who have disproportionate influence and leverage, possibly due to ongoing investigations in the US, in cases referred to by Rahul Gandhi ji, Prime Minister should be truthful, and instead of silencing the opposition, the Parliament should witness the truth, and all the details should be discussed threadbare.
You know, it smacks of, and the silence coming from the government of India, smacks of total surrender to the whims and fancies of a US president. US president first, the trade that was going on between India and the United States was a healthy trade. Strategic interests and strategic deepening of friendship has happened, but it was disrupted. From a 3% tariff, it moved to 55% tariff, to now an 18% tariff, and BJP is trying to tell us that it's a success story. And this tariff has come at what cost? That we have surrendered our strategic rights, our strategic interests, and our energy security needs on the whims and fancies of United States of America. And the language is exactly that. The language comes from a space of arrogance that they know that India has surrendered the choice that they can make, the independent choices that they can make. So it's shameful, and the government of India needs to clarify to us, and we have been repeatedly saying this. This trade agreement has not come at the back of equal opportunities on equal terms. It's an unfair trade agreement. Tell us what was compromised for you to get this trade deal, and why were these compromises made with United States of America? There's nobody to tell us where we buy oil from, at what price we buy it, who we buy it from. This is not something that comes in US's domain. That is one and only India's responsibility, Indians' responsibility, the government of India's responsibility, which they have sacrificed at the altar of power.
The criticism goes further. Congress leaders claim that the situation reflects what they called a compromised leadership. They argued that India's foreign policy should reflect independence and strength, not dependence on approvals from global powers. While the political attack grows louder, the background to this issue lies in the complex global oil market. The United States recently issued a temporary 30-day waiver allowing Indian refiners to buy Russian oil that had already been loaded onto ships before sanctions restrictions took effect. Washington says the decision is purely a short-term step to stabilize the global oil market during a period of geopolitical tension. The world is currently witnessing rising instability in West Asia, especially due to the confrontation involving the United States, Israel, and Iran. Energy routes in the region, particularly around the Strait of Hormuz, have come under pressure. That narrow passage handles a large portion of the world's oil shipments. Because of this situation, several shipments of Russian crude remain stranded at sea, especially around Asian waters. Just months earlier, US President Donald Trump had imposed a 25% punitive tariff on India for continuing to buy Russian oil. Washington had argued that India's purchases were indirectly helping Moscow sustain its war effort in Ukraine. That tariff was later lifted after both countries announced a framework for an interim trade agreement. As part of that understanding, India indicated it would gradually reduce direct purchases of Russian energy and increase imports of American oil. Now the temporary waiver is being seen as a stopgap measure meant to manage immediate supply disruptions. For India, energy security remains a critical issue. The country is the world's third largest importer of crude oil and depends heavily on global markets to fuel its economy. Affordable oil prices directly affect transport costs, inflation, and the daily lives of millions of Indians. But politically, the language used by Washington has opened a new debate inside India.